Alrighty, Fletch, I'm going to kick us off with the first game. It's Friday night, 7:50 p.m, Allianz Stadium. It is the Sharks taking on the Cowboys. Here's a couple of memories I found of Sharks versus Cowboys games, Fletch.
And Lewis both got themselves out very, very wide on that play. And they're just over the halfway line now, the Sharks. So they get their first sight of Cowboys territory. And Tagatisi has gone through and brushed a couple away. He plays it 20 metres out from the line. Now the Sharks, they get their turn. Beautiful ball. Pomeroy out the back. Bo Ryan scores. Bo Ryan scores for the Sharks. A classic backline play. Started with a couple of forwards out wide.
Yeah, how could we forget that one? That was Bo Ryan scoring it for 7 tackles set. That was in 2013 when the Sharks downed the Cowboys. Here's a bit more of a recent one. This is Val Holmes in 2022.
Last play. Here he goes. They go to Holmes. Valentine Holmes for the win. He strikes it. He's got it. Kicked it. He got it. Valentine Holmes has sent the Cowboys into a grand final qualifier after Golden Point.
Yeah, Val's played for both sides, of course. All right, without any further ado, here's the teams, Fletch. I'll start with Cronulla, 1 through 17. Kennedy at fullback, Katoa and Mulatalo on the wings, Sifa Talakai and Kyle Iro in the centres, Trindle at 5'8". Drum roll. Nico Hines at halfback, Toby Rudolph and Oregon Kafusi in the front row, Blake Brayley at hooker, Nikora and Wilton in the back row, Cam McGuinness at 13, Atkinson, Williams, Hunt and Hazelton on the bench. In the extended reserves, you've got Hemlin Ueli in there and Jesse Ramian in the extended reserves. So quick synopsis of that. Star centre Ramian is listed among the reserves as he looks to return from an ankle injury that ruled him out of the game against Storm. He'll be given until later in the week to prove his fitness, but for the moment, Sharks go with the same 17 as week 1. Hemlin Uele is their 18th man. For the Cowboys, Drinkwater fullback, Felt and Chualungi on the wings, Holmes and Vilea in the centres, Dearden, Clifford in the halves, Jordan McLean and Tamalolo up front, Reece Robson hooker, Lukey, Nenai in the back row, Cotter at lock, McIntyre, Edwards, Finney Fuiaki and Griffin Neem on the bench. 18th man is Jackson Purdue, Chad Townsend and Thomas McKaylee also in that extended bench. Todd Payton had the luxury of naming the same 17 that got the job done in the Southern Death showdown with the Knights. Purdue listed as 18th man after McKaylee filled that role last week. Chad Townsend, Braden Burns and Chom Chester are part of the extended squad.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. If Jesse Ramian plays, he's got that calf injury, he will go into the centres. But what happens? You got like Talakai. What are they going to do off the bench? Are you going to have Atkinson and Talakai?
You probably can't, can you?
You can't, but...
Well, you've got 3 props on the bench there, so maybe you drop a prop, drop a middle, and put Talakai in the middle.
Yeah, well, who are you going to drop? Because Royce
Jack
Hunt's
Williams?
No, he's been terrific. It's going to be a hard one for Fitzy. It's going to be really hard. I gather, yeah, it's either Williams or Atkinson doesn't get picked because you've got to have Talakai in there.
You got to. He was awesome last week again. What about that hit he put on Sean Bloor?
Yeah.
Holy. Couple of stats for you, Fletch. The Sharks have won 11 of their past 13 games against the Cowboys. Yeah. So a bit of a bunny side. The Cowboys have won 3 of their past 4 finals games against the Sharks, however. So it's a bit of a pick-em. Just off last week's form, Fletch, a top 4 side losing coming into a game versus a bottom 4 side, a bottom 4 of the top 8 side coming in winning. Does momentum play a part here, given that the Sharks had the momentum for the whole season and then have had 1 loss, or is one finals game enough to put them in a slump?
No. I mean, it is, as they say, the finals is a new competition. I don't think so. No, they'll be a lot more desperate. I think at the back of your mind when you finish in the top 4, it's a bit like when you're 1 up in an Origin series. As much as you'd like to wrap it up, you just in the back of your mind you've got that safety net. And for whatever reason, how many times do we see that in Origin? I think it probably works the same here in the top 4. No, they've got to be desperate because this is their last chance. I know I'm leaning towards the Cowboys.
Really?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards the Cowboys. I just saw a bit of mongrel in their defence McLean was whacking blokes. I just feel that Toddy Payton will have him up for this game.
I'm leaning heavily Sharks.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What, comfortable?
Not comfortable, but I don't think they did it on the weekend, so that it kind of disproves my theory. But the Cowboys don't like to win dirty, to win those tight, gritty games. Now they did against Newcastle, but I mean, yeah, Newcastle had a great finish to the season, but they really were a one-man side. I'm backing the Sharks pretty heavy here.
Yeah, right.
Pretty heavy.
Due to the travel, due to that the game they had up there, they might be a bit drained.
Yeah, I just think the Sharks, when you look at their form across the season, they're a much more stable side, and they're just due. When it comes to a finals match, I know.
7 and zips. I think this.
Yeah, they're due. They're due. They just are. And for no other reason than that, I'm going in pretty heavy on them. They are playing the game at Allianz Stadium, which has been a bit of a point of conjecture.
It's a real risk that we're going to go to Allianz and we're not going to get the numbers that we want. And it's purely because of the scheduling, and it's so hard to get into. I mean, I think, I'm hearing as well that the accommodation is pretty much all but booked in the CBD. So even the Cowboys fans that are maybe trying to make the trip down from North Queensland here are finding it hard to even get a flight and an accommodation. So history tells us they don't come in their thousands, and, that's got to come into play as well. So, at the risk of maybe getting in there with only 15,000, it made perfect sense in my mind. Let's go to PointsBet. Let's fill the thing out. We would have put the sold out sign already on the banners, last night. It is what it is, that.
Nice try, Dino.
Yeah, that's Dino Mezzatesta, the CEO of the Sharks, on Mornings with Matt Wyatt. You can't.
Try.
It's not amateur hour around here.
No.
We need proper stadiums.
Now, the game, as Brooksy was saying, we've averaged 20,000. We'll get 20,000. We'll get 20,000 people there.
Yeah. I think you get a few more that'll just trickle down from Paddo just to watch it.
Yeah. And when the Swans get pumped at halftime, we might get
They'll
a few
head across.
going across. Well, let's go to the next night and have a look at this. So it's the Chooks up against, it's the Battle of the Beaches, Battle of the Birds. But we're going to go way back, Turi. We're going to go way back to 1982.
Well, Harvey's been sent off. A sensation using the elbow in the opening couple of seconds of the game. This is going to cause a furore. I'm afraid I missed it. I was watching Krilich. Let's see that a bit of action again. An absolute sensation here at Brookvale. It was the attempted use of the elbow by Harvey.
So that was John Harvey. This was basically the first 5 minutes. They're playing Manly Brookvale. And you watch this game and you go, how would you ever let your child play this game? Because then it all hell broke loose after
clearly
this.
Your mum let you play shortly after.
Yes. Go to.
Eilif will go for this. Eilif will go for sure, I would say. He's walked on board. And there's punching going on. This is stupid.
That's Rex Mossop saying, this is stupid.
Is that Les Boyd?
If you got a chance, it was Royce Eilif just going to town. If you got a chance, get onto YouTube, hit subscribe on our button, but then go and have a look at the all-in brawl. The first 20 minutes was off its head. Anywho, let's go to the Chooks. This is your Roosters team. Tedesco, he's your fullback. Wingers, Daniel Tupou and Dominic Young. So the wingers, there was a bit of rumours going around the Marky Mark, but no, I think Joseph Swali'i, Joseph Manu is in the centres. Luke Keary, Sandon Smith. Number 8 for the Roosters, Jared Waria-Hargraves. This will be maybe his last game in the tricolours. The other front row is Lindsay Collins. Back row of Crichton, Tupanua and Nafahu White. And Connor Watson is the hooker. Siwa Wong, this is your bench. Siwa Wong, Lenu Butcher, Nat Variety, and Terrell May. But number 22, I just go down all the way down to number 22, Victor, the Inflictor, Radley. So we had him on the show, on Matty's show on Sunday night, and we were chatting with him, and he was going to get an injection in his back because he's fractured his scapula.
Yeah.
So he's going to get an injection in there to see if he could play. So I gather maybe...
Did he seem confident or no idea?
He was just frothing. He said, he goes, I don't even want to need it. I'll play.
Oh.
Well, he's just desperate to get out there.
Yeah.
So we may see Victor Radley. Maybe could be a danger.
What about one other change? I'm just looking at that extended bench again. Michael Jennings Could you see a late change of Manu to 5'8", Kiri to halfback, Jennings in at centre?
No.
They're backing Young and Sandon.
No.
He had a tough night.
The Manu thing just didn't work. Hasn't worked. Every time he's gone to 5'8", fullback, yeah, all day. Maybe although he's playing right centre, maybe we can see him get involved a little bit on the left side. They've got to try something different, the Chooks. Yep. Anyway, let's go to Manly. And they are, as per program last week, so it's the same team that played against the Dogs. So Tommy T, Talau, Hopewadi's the wingers, Kohler, Garrick, Brooks, Cherry Evans, Paseka, who was enormous last week, Lachlan Croker, Matthew Lodge, Olakawatu, Lawton, and Trebojevic, Jake variety. This will be interesting. So Matthew Lodge up against his old club.
He was big against the Dogs
Very
as well.
Good, wasn't he?
Huge.
He's good when he's playing for a contract, I've noticed.
He certainly is. What did you make last weekend? Who do you give the points decision to between Olakawatu and Big Kickow?
Ooh.
They both had a fair crack.
Yeah, they were good. I'd give it a Kickow. Thought he was enormous. Thought he was not. But Olakawatu, very good. This is going to be a good game. Who do you like here?
Chooks.
Yeah?
Chooks, heavily Chooks. I think Manly had an awesome last 20 minutes, and Cherry Evans was pulling the strings like he can do. But I think that game would have taken a lot out of them.
Yep.
But I just think the Chooks, when you look through that forward pack.
I know, but we've been saying that for the last 4 weeks.
Agreed. But I just think they simplify it and just
Errors
knock
kill
the front doors
Errors kill the Chooks. It always has been their Achilles heel. The 6 agains, if they can just all push up flat and get a quick play of the ball so Luke Keary or Sandon Smith can get a good kick away. I've been on about this for the last 6 months, how important you need your kicking game. And
they don't have a long kicking game, do they?
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible. And
Daly's was awesome.
Well, I mean, he's up there with Adam Reynolds.
Yeah. What do you make of this stat? The Roosters have won only 2 of their past 8 finals games.
Something. They're getting like in the Cronulla areas. No, I expect the Chooks to win, but I think it's going to be very, very close. Tommy's obviously not right. So no, I'd be kicking to him.
I think beyond shoulder, I don't think his knee's right. He was so heavily strapped. He was limping. He wasn't running fast.
I'd be making him work.
Yeah.
And that's why you need a real good kicking game. So Luke Keary's got to be on this. I think they've got to think defence and kicking first and just don't worry about your attack.
Is Tommy's shoulder one that could come good as the finals go, or is it just buggered until he gets surgery?
It's the joint. No, it's the AC joint.
And the photo I looked, it looked like it was out of the
socket.
The socket, basically.
No, that was he had padding on there.
No, I saw a photo that showed like what the AC joint looks like when it's a grade 3. And it's basically like popping up. Yeah. No good.
Anyway, let's have a look at the Manly bench. Benny Trebojevic, LIA, Ethan Bullymore, and Nathan Brown. So it's the same team that ran out last week against.
It's a good side.
It's a
really good side. With Tommy at full fitness in this game, I tip Manly. But the way he was limping through that game last week, obviously super brave to be playing. But
Chooks played Manly about 3 weeks ago, and Chooks were
it's almost 30-0 or so at one point.
Chooks were cruising. It wasn't until the 3 intercepts that got Manly back into the game.
Let's have a listen to that one.
Here comes Waliti, gets inside Ben Trebojevic. Brooks coming on the inside again. The flick past there. That should be a live ball. It's picked up by Young, and it's a try. It pinball back to Dom Young, and he gets over. Just outside the 10, Tedesco a kick. Pinballing away. Waliti coming through. So is Radley. It's another rebound try. It's all going the Roosters' way. Radley getting that one. Keary. Oh, intercept again. Cherry Evans. It's only Keary closing in. He's going to go all the way, and we're going to go down to the wire. This is simply unbelievable. Cherry Evans, a third Manly intercept.
Yep. So when you think about if it was the form line, the Chooks were cruising in that game. You would think they're not going to make the same mistakes, but they had a pretty good game plan that night, albeit Sammy Walker was very, very good. He won't be there. My
most memorable moment for the Chooks Manly, 2013 Premiership game. That's the best grand final I've been to.
Really?
Yeah.
How many have you been to?
Probably say 10, give or take.
Okay.
I was on the sauce on that one.
Yeah, maybe that's why. That's when Sonny went berserk at half time. Sorry?
2015, you reckon? Yeah, I wasn't at that one, Brooksy. I wasn't at it.
What about 89? What were you doing 89? Were you born yet?
No. Pre-birth. I was 91 birth.
Yeah.
Just a thought in my father's mind.
Just a little bit of an embryo just trotting out. Just coming out there. Just
all right, tips on this one.
Popping out the mucus plug.
Tips on this one, Fletch.
Chooks.
1 to 12, 13 plus.
13 plus.
13
no,
plus.
1 to 12. I'm not that confident. I don't want. I was confident last week against the Panthers with the 8.5. Nah, Chooks for me.
All right, let's get your thoughts. 0457 736 736. Should any of the 4 teams have made any changes? Because they're all 1 through 17. You're on the run home with Joel and Fletch.